Hey everyone, it's Andy from electricpetrolhead, and Tesla have just announced that they have sold 1 million cars. Like, it's amazing, because I live in the UK. I see maybe 3 or 4 Teslas a day if I'm out and about. And within my neighbourhood, there's 3, I think. Yeah. Soon to be 4. Big up Andrew. Not me, another Andrew. Anyway, there's not that many around. So the fact that they've sold 1 million worldwide is amazing. And for some people, especially those who are in the Tesla ecosystem, whether they're owners, shareholders, or just fans, it doesn't really come as a surprise. The way the growth has been going in the last few years has been fantastic. And, you can search for these articles, there's loads of them out there. But the Verge article, Tesla sold more cars in 2019 than 2018 and 2017 combined. That's incredible. You've now got, and I'll go back to Elon's tweet. Whoops, sorry. There you go. This car, Model Y. And this, I got a feeling this could be one of the best specs in the Model Y. The larger alloys, the red with D-chrome, black interior. That looks bloody good. And although I owned a couple of red cars back when I was sort of 17, 18, and I haven't owned a red car in years. That might be my first red car for a long time. I think that looks brilliant. So for those of us who have been sort of involved in the Tesla world, the 1 million cars doesn't surprise me. However, this is just the start, and I'm going to be total Tesla fanboy here, but it's completely justified. Yes, I own a Tesla, but I don't, I'd just as happily sell it and buy a Taycan if I thought it was a better car for what we need. It isn't. I'm really quite happy with Tesla. And there's a few reasons why. That this is just the start of Tesla skyrocketing. Partly it's them and Elon's vision and Tesla's planning for the future. But there's also a big part in that the rest of the industry is just being ridiculously slow off the mark. So let's go to Tesla reason first. When I bought my Model S, I knew I was overpaying for that car by about 20 grand. But that money was going into the Tesla ecosystem. And it was even more pronounced for those who bought, the pre-facelift Model S's and very early Model X, and, even more so with the Roadster. Because the Roadster funded the Model S, the Model S funded the Model X, and then they grew, and then that funded the Model 3, which funded the Model Y, etc. So the really important thing to remember here is a lot of the profit margin that Elon could have been pocketing or giving out to shareholders was not. It was invested in the ecosystem. And this is a supercharging network fundamentally. You can go all over Europe. You can go right up to the top of Scandinavia, drive all the way down to Italy. You can drive all the way down to Gibraltar. You can drive all the way up to Scotland. It's a very similar situation in America. You can go coast to coast via numerous different routes. There's even a number of different routes up into Canada now, and then down into Mexico. You've got so many options with I'm going to go back to that Model Y because I think it looks really good. I really like that. So there's so many options for you as an owner of an electric car. And this is the big thing. So nowadays in the UK, there are a number of good options. You've got Engenie who are putting chargers into pub car parks, so you can have a nice pub lunch while your car's charging. Instavolt are chucking up some good chargers. You've got Alpha Power, you've got Polar/BP Chargemaster. They're doing a really good thing. So there's a lot of, I live near to Milton Keynes. There's a load of chargers in all the car parks. It's brilliant. So, you can go and do your shopping. You could drive a couple of hours if you wanted to come into Milton Keynes, stick your car on charge, go off and have a day's shopping, come back, fully charged, drive home again. It makes it workable. The biggest difference, and this is what so many Tesla owners can't understand, is that the supercharging network is typically 4, but normally a lot more, normally 6, 8, 12. Crikey, a couple of the ones over in Amsterdam are, absolutely massive sites. And it just means you can turn up and you're pretty much guaranteed a charger. And this is what makes a Tesla such a usable car for more than just running around town. The i3 is a better town car than any Tesla because it's so small. This is a European talker, by the way, not an American. So in the UK and in Europe, car parking spaces are small, roads are narrow, the i3 is great. But on a long journey, a Tesla's going to wipe the floor of it every day. And this is why these cars are selling. There's the ecosystem to back it up. It's not just about the car. And this is what I keep saying to people. On paper and the actual car in the metal, the I-Pace by Jaguar is probably better. But it doesn't have the ecosystem to back it up. And there's plenty of I-Pace owners who have sold and come back to Tesla because it's a better overall ownership experience. So you go back to this picture, 1 million Teslas. It doesn't surprise me because they are great cars. So on the one hand, you've got the Teslas are great cars. You've now got the Model Y coming out, which is this gorgeous red colours. So you've got a situation where the cars are what people want to buy. You know, the Model S and the Model X, excuse me. The Model S and the Model X. By the way, motorhead glass. Where is it? There we go. You know, the Model S and Model X were their premium range. It had a lot of little extras that some people benefited from, some people didn't. Model 3 is phenomenal, and the Model Y is a little bit bigger Model 3. You know, you're covering all the bases. You've got the Roadster, you've got the Semi, you've got all these different ones. And then you've got all, you know, the solar and the home storage batteries. So they're making the cars that people really want. And then the Cybertruck, you know, is a little bit Marmite, but I love it. And if we have the car parking space, I'm going to get one. So there's all these different cars. So fundamentally, Tesla have made their success, and that's why it doesn't come as any surprise. What is surprising, and I still can't get my head around, is why the rest of the industry are just really struggling to catch up. And some of them, like VW, massive amount of guilt over all the Dieselgate emission scandals. They're doing really good, but they can't get the cars finished. They're having too many problems. Why is that? Because Tesla have been making electric cars for a long time, more than a decade. They've learned, you know, they've got all this data that tells them what works and what doesn't work. You know, they've got cars with over 1 million kilometers on, you know, on their chassis. And that gives you a huge amount of knowledge into what works and what doesn't work. And that's why when you look at the Model S to the Model 3, there's big improvements. When you look at a Model 3 compared to the Model Y, there's another layer of improvements. When the new Model S and Model X come out with the plaid mode, that's going to be another jump again. So Tesla keep improving. The rest of the industry was a little bit big-headed, and they thought they could just, at any point, go and make an electric car. VW have proven that's not the case. Porsche have come out with the Taycan. That is a great car. But the range sucks compared to a Model S. And guess what? When you are hammering that car, you need the range. You're not going to get the full 300, 400 miles in a Model S if you're ragging the nuts off it, but you might get half. If you get in a 200-mile range Taycan and you're ragging the nuts off it, brings it down to 100 miles. This is the problem. That's the dog. Got my CCTV up here, and there's a dog walking on the other side of the road. So Bertie's just saying hello. But anyway, the thing is, you've got the rest of the market is giving Tesla a massive advantage here. Now, a lot of people say it's only going to be a matter of time before the rest of the market catches up and Tesla are going to be screwed. Because why would you buy a Model S or a Model Y when you can buy a Volvo electric car? But they've forgotten the fact that Tesla have made their cars fun. They've got all the, you know, the infrastructure. The infotainment. They've got, you know, even stuff like fart mode. It's ridiculous to think that's a really cool thing. But that makes kids just laugh out loud. And a lot of these bigger cars are family cars. So the fact that, you know, the commuter can sit in their Model S up and down the motorway all day, and they can have Spotify, they can have all this stuff, they can have real-time charger, you know, availability. That's really good. But at the same time, a lot of these cars, and the Model Y especially, is going to be bought by families. And they are going to love all the technology in that car to entertain their kids on a long drive. And then they've got Netflix, they've got YouTube, they've got all the games for if they do have to sit around and wait for charging. But as I've said in a lot of my other videos, I don't believe in that. I don't want to be sat around waiting for a charge, so I don't. So, in summary, Tesla, well played. You sold 1 million cars. It's fantastic. Personally, it doesn't surprise me. It's something to celebrate, but this is really the first step in a long run. And I don't believe in betting and doing stocks and shares and things like that. No other reason, I'm just not in control of it. I'd rather invest the money in my own businesses where I'm a bit more in control. But I think a long-term bet and be a shareholder of Tesla, that's going to pay off really well. Because don't forget, at the moment, majority of the cars are being built in America. You got Shanghai claiming 250,000 a year. 1/4 of the total number of Tesla sold ever is going to be built in a Chinese factory the other side of the world from where Tesla were founded. That's incredible. So they're going to be able to look after that part of the world really well. You got the Texas Gigafactory, which personally I'm still not sure what they're going to be doing there. I don't know if it's been announced. Anyway, I have to look into that. And then they've got the Berlin factory, which is going to be there for Europe. So I'm pretty sure when we buy our Model Y, it's going to be built in Berlin. It's not going to be built in America, which is going to make life a lot simpler. It's going to cut down on the pollution and bringing the cars across the pond. It's going to be a really good thing. And then they're going to probably bring out a nice small city car to be like the i3, which, crikey, I could rant for days about BMW. That i3 that we've got is amazing, but they haven't capitalised on that. They had an early advantage. So many Tesla owners I know, their first EV was an i3, and they couldn't go anywhere. Even now, I know 2 BMW salespeople, they both say the same things. They are losing customers to Tesla because i3 owners want the next size up and they don't have a car for them. It's really frustrating, these BMW salespeople. So yeah, it's fascinating. So I think on the whole, I'm not surprised that Tesla sold 1 million cars. In the Tesla fan, the owners groups and stuff like that, no one's surprised. It was, inevitable with the growth that's been going. How quickly they're going to be selling the next million? You got to put a bet on 18 months, 2 years. If they're doing 250 over in China, potentially they could be at 1 million cars very quickly. 500,000 in America, 250 in China, 250 in Berlin, in Germany. 1 million cars a year. That's amazing. So fair play to Tesla. Well done. And I'm a very proud owner, and looking forward to seeing what you come out with next. So have a lovely day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do a mix of news, reviews, and FAQs. If you have any questions, pop a comment below or email me. Most of my videos are in response to questions in the comments, where I've literally just answered the question in a video just to share it with other people. And check out the description, especially if you're a UK citizen. I've got some really cool ways of you getting sort of freebies and bits and pieces. So check those out. Have a good day. See you later. Bye.